Hi and welcome to Gamers Web Unboxed. Not exactly unboxed, but we're going to have a quick look at this lovely book here. This is Gaslands by Mike Hutchinson from Osprey War Games. Osprey are better known as Osprey Publishing. They do a lot of historical and factual books. They're one of the world's leading experts on military history, and their uniform guides are like literally a how-to Bible for military war gamers, from Napoleonics and ancients to Vietnam, American Civil War, all that kind of stuff. And a few years ago they decided to branch out into different aspects. One of the things they branched out into was fantasy, with the really successful game Frostgrave, and more recently there's a couple of games that they've done which are science fiction, fantasy or horror related, and I'm going to take a look at a couple of those this week. The first one being Gaslands, the second one being Last Days. So this is Gaslands. It's a post-apocalyptical vehicle combat game by Mike Hutchinson, as I've mentioned, and basically it's Mad Max meets Death Race 2000, and it's a little bit crazy. Okay, so I'm not actually going to review the rules. I'm just going to do a quick look through, and I will actually review the rules at a later date, hopefully this week. So lovely artwork on the front cover showing you two souped up cars chasing one another, and up in the top corner you see the big lines, big sign saying Mars is a lie. The reason why it says Mars is a lie, because this uses a alternate reality, and that alternate reality is basically Mars was actually colonised very, very early on, and now in 2018 Earth is basically a slum and all the rich people live on Mars. And as such, the opiate for the masses is your television. Okay, so we've got about the author, which is Mike Hutchinson. Mike Hutchinson is a passionate gamer and model maker who wrote his first war game at the age of 15. He lives in an acceptably named village of Old Wives Lees in Kent with his wife, a library of games and a menagerie of beasts. And then David Ogden Nash was born in Indiana, USA, graduated with a BFA from DAAP, University of Cincinnati, and has been working in illustration and design since 2008. He's primarily worked on board games, card games, role-playing games, as well as some video games. Okay, there's a little bit there of some of the other games that they do that aren't historical. They're all fantasy and science fiction and, made up. Okay, so vehicular combat. Now, as you notice, this is a rule book. It's a standalone product. It's 60 pages and it comes with everything you need, although you do really need to actually pick up a couple of bits and pieces along the way. So timeline at the front. There we've got 1969 Apollo 2. Apollo 11 becomes the first moon landing. I said Apollo 2 then. Please forgive me. 76 Ares 1, first landing on Mars. That's the first man landing on Mars. 79 first Martian settlement. 82 civilization, Martian colony begins. 1991 Mars succeeds from Earth. 1999 Martian attack and Earth collapse. 2008 Gaslands TV show launches, which is what the game is all about, and present day Gaslands 10th anniversary. Okay, so basically the blurb reads, I'll let you look at this lovely picture whilst I read this. The year 2018, Earth has been under Martian occupation for 19 years. Wars left much of Earth destroyed and her population enslaved by the corporations of Mars and their relentless efficiency. Earth is a ghetto. All money goes to Mars. Whilst some resent those that betray their fellows to work for American corporations, many simply cannot afford ideals. The internet is gone. Television continues under the global network, or control of the network, a nest of greedy and traitorous Martian collaborators. The network's executive producer and chief anchorman, Dave Logan, is responsible for its lineup of ultra-violent blood sports and gas-guzzling death matches. In the jewel of the network's crown is Gaslands, broadcasting amateur and professional death races from across the world as teams battle for a place in the prime-time international final. This spring, Logan is offering a prize of a 10-year history of Gaslands, a one-way ticket to Mars. Escape from the broken, crumbling Earth to make a new life on that haven of rich and happy. The deadliest death races, the wildest half-time extravaganzas, the craziest audience participation. Everywhere Dave Logan's executive intervention can be felt, his vision is simple. This year must be the most spectacular Gaslands seasons ever. Gaslands, every Tuesday and Saturday night, 2100 Mars Central Time. Okay, so that's basically an overview of the game. Now, as you can see, David's artwork is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really nice. These are the rules of what you need. And basically, you will need some toy cars. These are the Matchbox and Dinky cars that are 20mm scale. So they're the ones that you can find in pound shops and dime stores all over the world quite cheaply. I managed to pick up 20 for £14 the other night, and they're all going to be souped up. They're all going to have armour, and I'm really looking forward to doing that because I'm going to play it with my grandson when my grandson comes up. Okay, so you need the cards. You need the dashboard, which is printed on the back of the book, manoeuvre templates, which are on the back of the book, 6-sided dice to play the game, skid dice. Now, you can actually buy skid dice from quite a few different third-party companies. What I would suggest doing is actually picking up yourself some skid dice. Or you could 3D print them if you've got access to a 3D printer. You'll find the files on Thingiverse. There's quite a lot of stuff for support for Gaslands on Thingiverse. Table, so it's played on a 3x3 terrain, which is basically self-explanatory. Tokens, right? So the tokens are also at the back of the game as well, and bases. Now, you don't need to require to be face your vehicles. Okay, and then you've got your stats for your vehicles and how your vehicles work. Then we're going to break down through the turn sequence, movement. Again, brilliant artwork. These absolutely superb customised cars. They look brilliant. So all the different things from making skid checks, using a shift stick, applying hazards, resolving skid dice results. Then you're using the templates for actually moving, spinning, sliding, which is quite important in the game, which we'll come to when we actually do our playthrough of it. A collision, head-on, T-bone, sideswipe, lots of different type of things. You can fit your vehicles with rams, so you can actually deliberately do a T-bone on someone and cause massive amounts of damage. And then some more pictures of the vehicles, how you do your tacks, right? Medium, short range tack templates. Now, the way the game plays is you choose what gear you're going to be in, and if you're in gear 1, you're going to move once. If you're in gear 6, if you're in a high-performance car, it's going to move 6 times, because it activates 6 times because it's super fast. It also gets to do other things like attack whilst it activates, or ram, or do special manoeuvres. So you've got things like monster trucks, you have helicopters, trucks, monster trucks, freight cars, all sorts of things, bikes. And then here's how we actually play the game. Again, there's a front cover, and so you've got things like Death Race. These are just examples of playing the game. Other scenarios, Saturday Night Live, Zombie Bash, Monster Truck Smash, Advanced Rules, sponsors. Now, one of the ways you can play the game is it uses a conveyor belt style terrain movement, as in you place down your terrain, then each turn, because the game's only played over 5 turns, each turn the terrain will actually move down towards one table edge, which is the direction that the players are travelling in. So that's quite... Okay, sorry about the pause. Basically, it uses a rolling terrain system. So the terrain starts at one end and comes towards the far end. And the game lasts for 5 turns. There is a very good chance you're going to end up climbing something if you not plan ahead. Now, the game itself uses really, really cool artwork. Yeah. So there's one of the converted vehicles. Looks absolutely really badass. Okay, so playing seasons, we've got all sorts of rules here. Like I say, I'm just going briefly through the game itself now. I'm not actually doing a review of it. So at the back of the book, we have all your templates. So these are dashboards for your helicopter, gyrocopter, a Bose tank, a war rig, and then you've got bike, buggy, car, performance car, pickup truck, monster truck, all your tokens, your movement templates. So small, large, medium, and then it tells you what gears you can be in, and then there's your other templates at the back there. Now, okay, so that's just a very quick look at Gaslands as the back. Now, the game itself, as I say, uses the Matchbox cars, which are readily available all over the world very, very cheaply. And all you do is just put some guns on them and put some plastic card or cardboard to build armour on them. In fact, you don't even need to put guns on them. You just equip them the way you want to on your templates and just play with them as they are. We're going to do a proper game of this very soon, and I've got a full written review which will be up on Gamers Web. Okay, so basically that's about it for this video. Please like, share and subscribe this video, and as always, comments are always welcome. What kind of vehicles do you like to see? You know, would you like to see an armoured ice cream van, or maybe a hearse? I don't know. Just leave the comments down there below, not downstairs, down there, and we'll get to that. The review will be up on Gamers Web. It'll be more in depth and it'll be a written review because that's the kind of thing that I like to do. And that's it for the moment. As always, I've been Mark and this has been Gamers Web. By gamers, for gamers.